Those of us who want the world to be a better place, whether we call ourselves activists, survivors, politicians, practitioners, journalists, or policymakers, we are all engaged in a process of fantasy. Change is the work of imagining how the future could be, how it should be, and then making that dream a reality. Hindsight can play down the role of dreams. Looking back, the path behind us can look deceptively clear, as if it was always going to lead us here. The rear view mirror can obscure our view. When we look back, do we see an inevitable journey of changes in policy, practice, and legislation? Or can we still see them, the dreamers, the people who had the audacity and the passion to imagine a world where it is no longer legal to rape your wife, a world where victims don't have forensic examinations in police stations, a world where many people have woken up to the scale of sexual violence in their communities and are less likely to say, that doesn't happen here. Now we get to live in the world of their imagination. Who will live in ours, and what will that world look like? I worry about the answer to that because dreaming isn't easy. Raw hope and aspiration come hand in hand with doubt. Doubt that you are dreaming the right dream, doubt that dreaming will ever lead to anything, fear that in the end all you'll be left with is unfulfilled hope. It takes energy and courage to hold on when the thing you are holding is a fantasy. And it isn't just our own fears that can get in the way. We live in a system that doesn't want us to have big dreams because dreaming is an act of rebellion. When we dream, we push against current norms and current conventions. We choose not to accept the status quo. Dreaming is disruptive, and we need to be disruptive if we want an end to sexual violence, and we need our imaginations to lead the way. But it's hard to dream in this space. How many of us are just trying to survive, trying to do the best we can whilst clinging on to our own well-being with our fingertips? How many people work in this sector without job security? How many organizations are in a constant state of crisis? Crisis because of funding, crisis because of politics and policy, growing pressure without growing resource, when simply still being here is in itself a small miracle and a small act of rebellion. How can we find the space and the courage to dream of a world far beyond this? I don't know. I don't know how we can, but I do know why we should. No one could do our dreaming for us. If we don't find the space and the courage to imagine the world as it could be, we'll never see it. If we're not audacious, the changes we'll see in our lifetime will be incremental, incidental. If we can't fantasize about the way things should be, our children will never inherit those dreams. They will live in a world not too different or worse than ours. If we don't dream big, I fear that we'll settle for survival. So let's put some dreams out there. Let's imagine what that future world could look like. And let's be audacious. Whilst we may always be limited in what we're able to achieve, let's not limit ourselves by dreaming too small.